Little video here about the Nukite, the spear hand. I've seen a few videos on this. They're sort of one school or the other. I'll explain what I mean in a second. Well, the first school is they're showing you how to do it, and it's all correct. The fingers are slightly bent, so you can put them together. Because normally you do the karate chop, so to speak, the fingers are slightly apart. If you put them together, it's like comes like a sort of flipper. But if there's how would you say, jigatai, solid, not moving, braced. That's the word I want. Jigatai in Japanese. Braced. It locks the hand up. You put them together, the hand's weak. Anyway, but they're showing and the spear hand then slightly just curled, basically. I saw an instructor who could stick his hand through a board, and it was a proper. It was no nonsense to it. Was no fakery. So it can be very, very effective strike. But you have to do the conditioning for it. So videos I've seen where they're showing how to do it, but they sort of launch it into thin air, the ich, ni, or 1, 2, 3, 4 in Japanese, if it's karate. It's really a strike, I believe, well, it's true, that you have to do the conditioning for it. It's going to be fine in theory into throwing it out in thin air until you actually try and do it, and you need to do it against something. Or conversely, people are like doing the proper old school. They'll fill a bucket full of gravel and stuff and plunge it in, which is probably, as I say, old school, probably commendable. There's a slight concern with scarification. It's like they actually want to deaden the nerves as well at the same time. I think you see it in Enter the Dragon when Bruce Lee goes to Han's Island and you see him plunging their fingers into it's the hot sand. So it actually deadens the nerves of the fingers. Which some people, myself included, would maybe want to fight a bit shy of that one. I'm into conditioning, but stuff with fingers are, I don't know, maybe not that much, but you can make them harder and stuff. You can do press ups like that and all the rest of it. You see the old school, they're carrying big pots filled with sand and stuff to strengthen the fingers. There's all the sort of exercises, but you can just do press ups like that or vert your hands around. But the Nukite, you need an area to strike it into. You've got walls, everything, but what you have great, I'm sitting in my jockeys after work, just had a shower, so thigh. I can't fire it straight out, but what the hell, let's just strike an area. Nice and simple, right? Plus, it conditions the fight as well, because that's starting to hurt straight away, especially like up to the top. So you're getting a 2-in-1 conditioning exercise, and I'm sort of, the hands starting to, the fingers starting to buckle under that one. But that's just another, let's say, 2-in-1 exercise. No fancy equipment needed. Don't need to fill yourself tubs of hot sand or whatever. Just get your thigh and do that. And again, it's something you can do while you're watching the TV or whatever you do. That means you can just sit there and do that. And of course, in the other leg. But I'll just show it. What hand? That's just a good one there, coupled with, let's say, push-ups on the fingers and stuff. The Nukite, they'll strike to the throat, the eyes. As a mild instructor, he'd stick it through a proper board, and I've seen someone do it for thick tatami mats that they use the flooring on in Japan. I've seen a video of that, and this guy's fingers were like, so he's obviously doing it to the nth degree. But yeah, just to build up strength, because if you're just doing it as a sort of into thin air, in a lot of dojos or training halls or whatever, a lot of these techniques are just sort of flung into the air, which after a while you have to have something to impact with to teach you distance, and you're not overextending, and just to condition the actual thing that's being striked, be it the knuckles, the whatever this is, part base of the hand or the fingers or this part, whatever. You can't just do it into air and then expect that your strike will have any or much force or impact or whatever. So it's just a nice simple exercise there for the Nukite.